Welcome back, everybody. I'm Jay. He's Maddie. This is MMA Underground presented by the Yankee and the Brit. And today we have a special guest for you guys, Jason Rienhardt, former UFC fighter, former SFC champion, former RSC champion, and a man who wants to bring bare knuckle MMA to the rest of us. Thank you so much for giving us your time, Jason.
Yeah, thank you guys. It's an honor.
We've got a pro. We've got an actual pro fighter on the show. This is crazy. And you're the kind of guy where most of our interviewees are looking to get the kind of pro fighter side. Do you want to talk a little bit about bare knuckle just to start off with?
Okay, man. Let's do it. One day, about 2 months ago, I was sitting there talking to my partner, Joe Miller. We're partners in Courage Fighting Championships, my MMA show I've done since 2001. And Joe's our matchmaker. And, I love bare knuckle. I love bare knuckle fighting championships. I absolutely love it. I think it's safer, actually, than MMA. And I was just talking and I said, Joe, let's do bare knuckle MMA. And it clicked. So I got the name and locked everything in. And here's our rules. It's kind of like the back of the old school days, the vale tudo and, pancration. So the fight starts standing. The fighters can wear their gi. They can wear their fight shorts. They can wear their wrestling singlet, shirt, no shirt, fight shorts. And they can wear no shirt or shirt. They start standing. Everything goes standing up, elbows, punches, all that. But once the fight hits the ground, it's all open palm strikes, nothing to the no closed fist, open palm and no elbows on the ground. And if there's not action, the fight gets stood up. So I think it gives a lot of jiu-jitsu guys an opportunity to fight MMA and not have to worry about getting ground and pounded, So this is the amateur ranks. And then once we go in the pros, then we'll allow closed fist on the ground and elbows. But for the amateur bare knuckle MMA, when it hits the ground, open palm strikes. And open palm strike can be brutal. Look at Boss Rutan. Look at some of the guys that have really done a lot of damage with open palm.
And that Eddie Bravo fighting that they have now is that full contact grappling or whatever. That's open palm striking. So it's kind of along the same lines, and that's taking off. So that's really exciting to see a new form of MMA coming to everybody. And somebody like me, I can't get enough fights. So I'm really excited to see something different coming up also.
Awesome, man. I'm looking very forward to this. And I can't wait.
And everybody who's watching, if you want to check out more about bare knuckle MMA, I will leave links in the descriptions for everybody so you can find their Facebook pages and everything else, and you can go from there. But you have to check that out. I'll leave all the links below for everybody.
Yeah, I'm just developing. I got bareknucklemma.com, and I'm just developing everything as we speak. So just stay tuned.
Perfect. And then you said something about the Courage Fighting Championship, and you have a card coming up?
Yeah. We have July 24th at Shady Jack's in St. Louis, Missouri. We're doing amateur MMA. We're bringing back my Courage Fighting Championships.
Very cool.
Thank you.
So
thanks a lot, guys.
You were I'd let everybody else know that besides being in the UFC, you've done some sports commentating for Fox Sports, which is really cool. You did the US and Australia.
Yeah, I commentated a lot in Costa Rica and for Fox Sports Midwest and Australian Fighting Championships. When I lived in Australia and coached for 2 years, I was a commentator for them. That was awesome.
Yeah, the Aussies down there are just like, they're crazy people, the Aussies. Australia. And Costa Rica as well. Yeah.
You're straight. Yeah, I knew it.
No. British, but
British,
very similar. And in Costa Rica as well. Costa Rica is an absolutely stunning country, and I've been before. Like, what was that like to be commentating on fighting in Costa Rica?
Well, we did I helped co-promote, and I was the commentator on that. It was the first MMA show in Cocoa Beach, Costa Rica. So that was awesome.
So before you made it to the UFC, how did you start out in fighting? Where did you start out and how did you get into it?
Well, man, I just like a lot of guys, man. I was in Taekwondo since I've been 9 years old, and I opened my first Taekwondo school at 18 years old, and just it all progressed, man. I just saw same thing, saw Hoist Gracie fight, and I ended up selling my Taekwondo school when I was like 25 years old, and started my jiu-jitsu and MMA journey.
And then you used to train with guys like Matt Hughes, and you did some kind of movie with him. Is that correct, or did I get that wrong?
Oh no, we did. I trained at Milicic Fighting Systems with all the studs there, and got smashed. And no, man, we just did a movie called After the Cage. It was Pat Milicic, Matt Hughes, Dan Severn, Jay Fish, bare knuckle MMA 205-pound contender for the title, Jay Fish. Watch him. It was just an awesome experience.
That's really cool, because what had happened to Matt Hughes, everybody in the MMA world knows. He's had a lot of struggles since his whole accident with the train. And the fact to see Matt coming back and seeing Matt out in the public again and just doing so much better is such a great thing for us fans. So somebody who trained with him, that has to be great to see also.
Yeah, it was also great to watch him choke out Brock Lesnar back in the day. And he was on his back. He was on his back. Matt was on his back and had the rear naked. And Brock stood up and was spinning him around. And then he didn't know how to defend it, didn't even get wrist control, and his hands were flopping everywhere. And he does a back like a damn I don't know, a soup play, like try to Pat was like, whoa, you're trying to break my champion's back. What are you doing? So I watched Matt choke out Brock Lesnar. That was awesome.
And if I'm not mistaken, that's also where Little Evil Jens Pulver trained.
Oh yeah, I still feel his liver shots.
Yeah, Little Evil does so much to try to get street beefs out there to bring a light onto street beefs. I think it's amazing what he's doing on Twitch and stuff. And the fact that guys like you and him and guys who have been there and at the top of the mountain in the UFC and different promotions are willing to speak up about street beefs or these younger guys. I think it's amazing to help out these younger guys make their way up, and just wanted to shout out you and those guys who do that.
Yeah, thanks, man. I just want to say this though, man. Matt Hughes and Pat Milicic and Jens Pulver, those guys are on another level than me, bro. I mean, I'm just, you know what I mean? They went to another whole level.
Right, but you got to a level where a lot of these young guys, they're just praying they get to where you are. And the fact that you guys are willing to show them some love, I just think it's amazing.
Thank you, man. I met some of the greatest people in MMA, man. It's an amazing sport, you know.
So, Maddie, any questions before I go deep with Jason here?
I'm just gonna let you go deep with it, because you can't say something like that and then ask me to ask just a normal question.
Yeah, that's a teaser, Maddie.
You just go straight deep in, man. You just go for it.
All right. Well, Jason, I know that you've struggled with addiction and that you're willing to open up and talk about it, which I think is amazing for other people who have had addiction. So maybe you just give us a little background on what you went through and how you came through it.
Oh, man. I broke my neck in that title fight in 2001. And that was when my nightmare began. You know, I was out almost 2 years. They said I'd never fight again. In fact, they said I'd never lift 20 pounds over my head again. And I told that surgeon, I said, man, I'm going to make it to the UFC. And then I was out 2 years, and unfortunately the pain pills, man, but I got put on all those pain pills. I'm not blaming the doctors, but I was fighting all over the world on Xanax and Vicodin and morphine and fentanyl patches, you know, all at once. It's crazy, man. So I went on a 18 and a half year pain pill addiction, man. And I finally checked myself into rehab last year on November 5th, 2020. And I got out December 19th, 2020. And I've been clean ever since. And I'm very grateful.
That is so awesome. And how long before you started to realize, like, hey, this is an issue? And was it making it more difficult to train while using? I'm sure the pain did, but like going into fights, I mean, how did that change your whole world? And how was it that you realized like, hey, I got to stop this?
Well, I knew I had a problem. I just couldn't stop, man. I tried to, what really hung on to me was the Xanax. I wish they'd outlaw that drug. I just couldn't kick that. That was the one that hung on and was kicking my ass. So, but as far as fighting, man, I thought I was okay, but looking back, I wasn't okay, man.
Yeah, and using drugs while fighting and not being able to heal right, that must have really kind of inhibited what you could do in your fighting career also.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, man. It was it's a bad deal, man. It's, I wish, I'm hoping that I give hope to people that they have hope, because I had no hope. I was I isolated. I did all of the things that come along with addiction, and it's a horrible, horrible disease, man.
Yeah, and I think people who see somebody who is in a position of success and then go through that and then come out on the other side and start to be successful again and do great things, like with the bare knuckle boxing like you're doing, and you're maybe talking about going back to fighting a little bit and stuff like that as well, then that's really helpful for people to see people who are going through that. Like, I've had mates who got addicted to painkillers after breaking their backs playing rugby and stuff like that, and it's impressive to see somebody come out on the other side, and it'll give a lot of hope to a lot of people.
Oh yeah, I hope so, man. To be honest, that the pills, they got me all the way to Florida, living in a bathroom, in an abandoned bathroom in a Rocky style gym full of rats. And now 2 years later, I just built this beautiful home. I mean, I just want to let people know, I never believed somebody could go. I always heard these stories where people would go from the bottom to the top, and I always thought it was all BS. But I'm living proof, man. If you stick with it in your mind, everything is in the mind, and you can get over your addiction and come out the other side. I'm definitely living proof of that.
Yeah, that's so amazing, because there's so many people out there who struggle with addiction and who don't see the light at the end of the tunnel. And like Maddie, unfortunately, I've watched some family members deal with addiction in my lifetime with crack or heroin and whatever. And you see that the struggle, the fight, but the fact that you came out on the other side, that you just got a new home, that you're putting time into helping these young fighters find an avenue. I think it's so awesome. And I know you like to use the word bringing hope. And I think that's exactly what you're going to do for people. And thank you so much for, putting the effort out there to help people go battle things that you have went through.
Yeah, man, it's no joke. And, a lot of people are afraid to come forward because of judgment and whatnot. I'm willing to take it on the chin, man. And because this stuff is life and death. And I just want anybody to know that they can reach out to me, and I've got access to different rehab facilities. If you don't have insurance, I can help you. I have so many connections that I've made in this industry that I'm here to help people, man.
That is so awesome.
Good. Yeah, that's awesome, man. And talking about taking stuff on the chin, just to move to maybe a bit of a lighter note, you're thinking of coming back into fighting, right? Or are you thinking of coming back into fighting?
I would love to, man. I would love nothing more than to do one more, man. Just one more. But I've got to figure out, they're going to want to do this back surgery on me, and I'm fighting that right now. I don't want to get this back surgery. So I'm just fighting to get out of this pain, and we'll see where it goes. Absolutely. I would love to do one bare knuckle fight for BKFC.
I would love to watch it. I think it'd be exciting. And I know that chronic pain is something that's like close to your heart, and that something you have to deal with. So, I mean, what do you say to people out there who are dealing with the same thing you are?
Man, I would say nutrition, a lot of water, meditation, and prayer, man. That's what gets me through. It really does. And I've been taking this black oxygen that Pat Miletich, my longtime excuse me, coach, Pat Milicic kept on me about this black oxygen, and I kept blowing it off. And then, man, one day I started taking it, and it's definitely helped the inflammation. And so I'm hoping that I'm on the road to healing.
That's awesome. And I have to ask, what is black oxygen?
Yeah, what is that?
It's a fulvic acid that is extracted from the mud in the swamps, and a scientist invented it, and it allows, there's so many benefits. It allows 45% more oxygen into your bloodstream at a cellular level. And it's just incredible. You can go to blackoxygenorganics.com to read more about it.
That's really cool. The more we learn all the time, the way that science is moving, it's getting better for fighters. It's an exciting time.
Hey, one thing, Pat Milicic used to have us on this stuff called Supercell, and it gave you 10% more oxygen, but not at a cellular level. And he had all of his fighters on that, and a lot of us would gain our more energy, you know, in the later rounds, and especially in sparring and whatnot. So this is just incredible for fighters and athletes.
And Pat is such a legend in the MMA. He's trained so many straight killers, so many champions. And I started watching MMA after UFC 1, found the video in the video store. Man, my whole life I've heard about Pat Milicic, so that's pretty awesome. Nothing but killers came out of there. I mean, his gym's in the middle of nowhere, so all you guys have is time to train.
Hey, that's right, man. It was brutal, man. It was, but you know, Pat used to turn up the heat in the middle of the summer to 105 degrees, man. And it was brutal, man. You knew if you got through the Milicic training system, the Milicic fighting systems, if you got through their training, you know the fight was going to be relatively easy or not as hard.
And then as for, you got this upcoming fight card at Courage Fighting Championships. Any plans past that to do more, or is this like kind of the farewell as you move on to the bare knuckle MMA?
No, bare knuckle MMA is only approved in 5 states. So we're going to definitely continue with MMA in Missouri at Shady Jack's. We hope to do 3 shows a year there, and continue to do MMA shows. But I'm really excited about this bare knuckle MMA, man.
And not to put you too much on the spot, because I know you're just getting it rolling, but you got any ideas on when you'll be able to maybe roll out your first card, or is that still too far out?
No, it's not really too far out. I was thinking in September. In September would be a good time to launch the first show, bare knuckle MMA.
And then do you have an idea on how you're going to pick the fighters, or go from there in case there's anybody watching who wants to get into bare knuckle MMA?
Any street beefs guys looking out there to take the next the next step?
Yeah, man, just email me at jason@bareknucklemma.com. jason@bareknucklemma.com.
And I will drop that in the links for everybody too, because I know that there's a lot of fighters out there who are just starting out. They're not sure where to go or how to get started. They're just doing the training. So guys like you would be a great resource for those young fighters.
Yeah, man. We take care of fighters. Fighters take care of fighters, man. I've been doing this a long time, promoting MMA shows. And, you know, I must have been doing something right, because the fighters are calling me like crazy, you know, to fight for me.
That is so awesome. I'm sure that they're really excited for another promotion to get out there, to get the experience, because I mean, as the MMA world sits right now, most guys either want Bellator, the UFC, things like that, but they don't know where to start to get there. So that is so cool that there's so many more avenues now for guys to get into MMA, to get seen, so that people, and to get better.
Absolutely, man. The bare knuckle MMA is going to be a great thing, because like I said, the jiu-jitsu guys don't have to worry about getting, you know, ground and pounded, elbowed. You know, they can just work on their submissions without having to worry about that so much, and then build up into the professional ranks.
Well, you seem to have really thought this through and have a really good plan. So I am so excited to see where this goes from here. What about you,
Thank
Manny? Bet you can't wait for some bare knuckle MMA.
Oh yeah, that's exactly what I wait for. No, yeah, of course. Like, you should definitely let us know when it's happening, and we'll put it up on our
Sure,
page
man.
to let everybody know where they can go watch it as well. That'd be fantastic.
Thank you. And hey, I heard George Mascaville. I heard he's gonna do start a bare knuckle fight league. So that's awesome, man. But I was the first. Don't steal my shit.
Right? You got to get him to come in with you. Just so
Yeah.
Jorge, if you're watching, get a hold of our guy, Jason,
That's right.
and do some stuff together. Because the two of you together, that would be pretty much unstoppable.
I love that guy, man. We were fighting. He doesn't know. He doesn't know me or nothing. But I was fighting. We were fighting in shows 20 years together.
Yeah, and the fact that he came from backyard fighting, the Kimbo Slice days, and built his way up, he's kind of like what you see a lot of these guys trying to do now, except they have the benefit of more training than he did. So what he has done over the last, I don't know, decade to bring his level up, it's awesome. The fact that both of you are reaching out and pulling these young guys up, it's awesome. It's just an exciting time for MMA, and it seems like as big as it is, it's just blowing up more.
Yeah, man, I like to work together with promoters and stuff, man. I don't like to cross dates and all that stuff, man.
Yeah.
I ain't trying to step on nobody's toes,
I would love to see people like Preacher's Son, Down Dangerous, Jay Gotham, those kind of people who we've interviewed on this show, like getting in contact with you and trying to fight out there as well. I think that would be a fantastic thing for them to go do, and it would be really important for young fighters to get into to get some extra exposure, even though there's things like street beefs that they can go for as well. But this seems a little bit more legit.
Yeah, how does street beefs do it without getting like the sanctioning involved? I guess it's not.
They're a fight club.
A what?
They're pretty much a fight club.
I see.
So they're all in states where it's called mutual combat. And if you and I agree to fight with gloves and stuff, then it's like me and you deciding to play a pickup game of basketball or football.
I see. Okay. All right. I got you.
They're not as strict because like they do a lot of good things. Like before they'll even put you on there, you either have to send them training tape or go spar with them. So they make sure that you're not going to get murdered in there. But there is up to a 15-pound weight discrepancy in those fights.
Yeah. All right. Fair enough. Cool.
But you will see a lot of those guys. Like there's a fight, if you get bored, go check out Jay Gotham versus Preacher's Son. Both of those guys really have skills. It's no longer the days of two bar fighters getting out there and just throwing down.
So can pros get in that? Can pros, or you have to be an amateur?
I have no idea, but that's something that Fire Chicken would be able to answer.
Yeah, I think they make you, like, if you're a pro, you can't just come in, you have to make your way up. That's kind of what Fire Chicken said to us, didn't he? About like cross promotional stuff. Like you have to come from the bottom and make your way to the top.
Man. Right on. I believe that bare knuckle without the glove, I believe that it's safer. And here's why. I've been hit with both. And the glove, man, it spreads the punch out where it rocks the brain. Without no gloves, it's more pinpointed. Of course, you're going to have a lot of superficial cuts, but in my opinion, you can't hit as hard, and the punch doesn't spread out of the brain. It doesn't rock the brain like it does with a glove. That's your hand is like concrete under that glove being wrapped, as opposed to no glove.
And I've always went by the theory, and you can tell me if I'm wrong. MMA just puts that 4-ounce glove on so you don't break your hand. So the fact is, with bare knuckle, you're going to have to pick your punches a little better, even though you and I talk that at times it can seem more brutal because of the way the blood sprays or anything like that. But you made good points to me when we were talking, I think it was like a week ago, on how you believe that the gloved MMA is actually probably more dangerous.
I do believe that 100%. I believe that. And yeah, man, a lot of people would disagree, and that's fine. It's a controversial subject, but I believe that bare knuckle MMA is definitely safer.
You convinced me. I was on the other side at first, and then after talking to you, I was like, no, that makes sense. He convinced me.
Well,
Yeah, and
I've been to several bare knuckle fights, and man, I never saw one guy go away in the hospital to the ambulance. Not one, but they were all cut up and sliced up, but they were fine. You know, it was superficial cuts, and they get stitched up, and that's it. But I didn't see guys get on a stretcher and go to the hospital.
yeah, and for those people who are thinking like the open palm stuff's not going to hurt on the floor, and they're like, oh, it's open palm on the floor and stuff. I've been hit in the face with enough handoffs during rugby to tell you that it rocks you like straight away. That like somebody doing that straight to your head just like stuns you straight off the top.
Yeah, man. Or open palm, if you cup your hand a little bit and you hit on the side of the ear, that knock the equilibrium off. You know, so there's a lot of damage that can be done with open palm.
And then for the Courage Fighting Championship on July 24th, is that fans in attendance? I don't know what's going on in Missouri. Is there tickets for people to go get? How can they watch that?
Yeah, the tickets are not available right now. I'll have them available, but yeah, it's going to be fans are going to be allowed. It's a family event. We're having it's an outdoor event. It's an incredible venue at Shady Jack. So yeah, the tickets will go on sale soon.
Well, everybody who goes out, stay safe. It's a weird time in the world, but the last year has shown us MMA is great no matter what, but when you have fans, the electricity up to the next level. I like to go back to just a month ago or so to the Sugar Shane O'Malley fight. Now, Sugar Sean O'Malley. If Sean would have been in front of a crowd when he knocked dude out, it would have been electric. So the fact that fans are back, it's so exciting for me.
Yep. Yeah, man. And in Florida, I live here in Florida, and it's like nothing's, it's a different world here, man. It's a totally different world, Today.
I live in Wisconsin. It's been the Wild West since 1 month after COVID hit. Wisconsin's like, forget it, go do what you want, try to put on a mask. So I've lived in a different part of the country than most people. Our lockdown was like 1 month.
I hate you guys.
There you go, man. I never understood. This isn't a bash to nobody, 100%. No bash. But I don't understand when I see fighters in the UFC weigh in with the mask on, man. I just that's just so strange to me.
It's public perception. That's all it is to make the public feel good about it, because everybody up there has been tested. They're all negative. They're all breathing on each other as soon as they get off the stage.
I don't understand whether weighing in with a mask on, man. It's so bizarre to me.
It's to show people that the celebrities, like the hardest men on the planet, are wearing masks, so you should too. I imagine I'm so jealous of you guys, man. I've been in the pubs have just been opened again, so that's good news. But we started we've been in lockdown like crazy for a long time, so I'm jealous.
Well, if you see what just happened at the last UFC, it was masks optional. I did not see anybody with a mask, so that was a little weird. But again, that's your boy Jason State right there. That's the wild state of Florida.
Yeah, man.
I see you got some beautiful scenery behind you too.
Oh yeah, man. This new house it's amazing, bro. Bro. I'm living on this pond, and like I said, man, I was homeless 2 years ago in Florida. And you get off the pills and get clean, man, and your life can change for the better,
That's so awesome. I saw pictures of the house you moved into. Congratulations. Beautiful. I love to see that redemption, that comeback story, because like your word hope, you give hope to everybody else out there who's in a similar situation that you were in. And that's just amazing.
Absolutely, man. And there is hope. You don't have to live like that, man. You don't have to live in a prison to addiction. You just don't.
All right, Maddie, anything else for Jason before we let him go and don't eat up this whole day? Because I could probably talk to him for the next 2 hours.
No, I just want to say thank you so much, man. Really appreciated it. Thank you for opening up to us about everything. And with the house that you've got looks absolutely stunning, and it's like impressive to see from somebody who's gone through so much to be close to on top of the world again. And congrats, mate. Really enjoyed speaking to you.
Brother. Thank you, guys. I really appreciate you, man.
And from me, not only do I feel like we're creating a friendship in the making, I am such a fan of yours and what you've overcome. I like just talking to you for the last week on message it was really amazing for me. It was eye-opening. It really just opened my eyes to a lot of things that are going on. And I think that you being so open with people is just amazing. And you have such a great outgoing personality, and you seem so caring to what's going on. I think you're going to do so good in people's lives. And again, just thank you.
Thank you, man. I appreciate it, man.
All right. Well, I'm going to keep in touch, because when this bare knuckle MMA goes off, we're going to want you back on again.
That's right. Maybe you can get George on there.
Get you both on.
Hey, we're both in Florida, man. Thanks,
I think
guys.
he's trying to figure out how to get back in that cage with Usman again.
Yeah, that was a rough one, man.
He's at a point in his career, though, no matter who he fights, it's big money fights. And I'm sure everybody wants to be a champion at some point. But sometimes just setting your whole family up for the rest of their lives is more important.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely.
Well, thank you so much for your time. I'm going to get you back on here when the bare knuckle MMA comes out.
Thanks,
all right, guys. Thanks for watching. We'll put those links down below. Keep following Yankee and the Brit, because I will keep you updated on everything that's going on with bare knuckle MMA and Jason and what they're doing from here. And don't forget, if you're in Missouri, go check out the CFC on July 24th.
All right, buddy. Thank you guys a lot, man. Have a great day, okay?
All right,
too,
cheers,
and everybody
man.
else, follow us on YouTube, Facebook, all other podcasting platforms. Thanks for watching. One world, one love. Deuces.
All right. See you.
Cheerio.
Peace. Thanks, guys.
Hey!